couldn't help myself. Right, one angry pagan here, Cialawita. I couldn't help myself. I'm trying to get the second part to last Wednesday's Politics Live, the P&Q's part, and Thursday's Politics Live, and yesterday's. It's all a bit hectic. Sorry. I was watching this piece from GMB. Oh my God, this is hilarious. Ed Balls grills Security Minister Ted Tugendhat over international submarine deal, right? Now, I only got halfway through this, and I just like, I've got to record this and put this up. This is fucking hilarious. All you got here... Now, last year, when we had the first leadership contest, well, the only leadership, because the second one wasn't exactly a leadership contest, but besides the point. Of all of them, I was like, okay, Tom Tugendhat makes the most sense out of all the crap. Makes sense. So I was like, okay, fair enough. Now, of a pile of shit, he stumped the least. What was I thinking? This guy is a moron. Check this out.
Deal with the US and Australia, accusing the partnership of going further down a dangerous road.
Earlier, the Prime Minister had announced a major upgrade to the UK's fleet using cutting-edge technology to combat China's threat in the Pacific. And we're joined by Security Minister Tom Tugendhat. Mr. Tugendhat, we'll come to China in a moment. Just to start on defence.
So there's UK, US and Australia pact aimed at countering threat from China. So I think this is all part of AUKUS.
Spending. The Defence Secretary said that he was looking for an £11 billion upgrade in defence spending in the next 2 years. He said that was the cost of standing still. He said he needed to reverse the number of troops on the ground which were going down. It's not 11 billion, it's 5 billion. It's half what he said. So that means...
I was watching something else last night, and I think it was LBC actually. Cross question, that was it. And you had I cannot remember the guy's name right this second. It was an old dude, and he was saying that it's just not enough. 5 billion is not enough. He was talking 15 million minimum. Okay. Were you thinking that? Are we thinking that seriously about it now? Are we? Fucking hell.
Means we're going backwards, and also it's going to be spent on nuclear subs rather than more troops which can fight in a European theatre.
This reminds me of the argument that fucking Boris had with Tobias Ellwood at the defence committee hearing. I think it was something like that. And Boris, Tobias was there like, why are we cutting our forces? Oh, it's not about the tanks. It's not about tanks. Oh, why are we cutting our forces? Oh, it's not about tanks. It's about intelligence. And then, boom, Ukraine. And he's like, Ukraine. We've seen in Ukraine, tanks and artillery are needed. Manpower is needed. Why are we cutting this stuff? Oh, no. The Tories are in utter denial about defence. I mean, of all people, Thatcher would be rolling in her grave right now.
Feels like the Defence Secretary has lost the argument.
Yeah.
Ed, look, the last time I was...
Yeah. The Defence Ben Wallace wanting at least 11 billion, and he got 5. I mean, If you're the defence secretary, how are you supposed to feel?
Really involved in defence budget negotiations was when your man Gordon Brown was in charge, and I do remember that quite a lot of demands went in from Bob Ainsworth and before him from Jeff Hoon, asking for different budget increases. And you're never going to hear me asking for a budget decrease in defence. I'm a former soldier. What do you expect? But this government has done something that many others have not done, which is massively increased defence spending. We've got way beyond where we were under your time. We're aiming towards 2.5%, and it's a £5 billion increase.
Right. Once again, the Tories are ignoring inflation and the fact that they, just like with the NHS and other systems, sorry, I'm getting notifications, and other systems, and you know, other services and systems, they cut it, right? And now, just like under Boris, they're like, oh, it's the greatest, it's the most amount of money ever, even more than you ever did. Not in comparison to the drop that you made us go through. Like, Labour built that gap back up. You just obliterated everything. And now everything's really going to shit. You're going, oh God, I've got to stop putting money into everything. Look, we're putting money there, it's not enough. Oh yeah, it's just the most we've ever put in. Yeah, but it's not enough. Why is it not enough? Because you cut it so fucking much. You fucking mathematical and numeral numeracy illiterate. They are illiterate in mathematics and numeracy if they think they can come out now. Or they're just complete bullshitting liars. It's just either one or two or both. And they cut. And then right at the last minute, go, oh, look, money, look, we're spending loads of money. It's not enough. What do you mean it's not enough? You can't just look at the last 3 years, you know. 13 years the Tories have been. They're behaving like they've only been in charge a short amount of time. It's fucking stupid.
Now, you talk about
Mr. Tugendhat, let me interrupt you there for a second, because that isn't the last time you spoke about defence. You rather set alight the leadership election in the summer when you stood for the Conservative leadership. At the time,
this is like what he said last summer is the reason why I was like, yeah, cool. Like, if we're gonna have someone shit, might as well have someone less shit than we usually get. He really ties himself in knot here.
You tweeted at the time, the truth is we don't spend enough on the defence of our country. As PM, I would commit 3% of GDP to defence spending. In fact, you went further than that in an article in The Sun. You've just been defending 2.5%. You said then that last month the government promised to increase defending to 2.5% of GDP. This is not enough, and anyone who says otherwise is either naive or has been captured by Treasury orthodoxy. So if you're now defending 2.5%, are you naive? Have you been captured by Treasury orthodoxy? Or are you another politician who spoke out for the backbenchers and now you've got your feet behind the desk in the Foreign Office? You've forgotten what you used to stand for.
Right, I'm going to pause it right there because Max pulled up a video of another MP who spoke out from the backbenches and is now reversed. Now he's gotten into a bit of power. It's like the Tories don't treat the office of government properly. They just, you know, it is just this is just a fiefdom to them. That's how they treat it. But listen to Tom Tugendhat utterly wrap himself in knots here.
Okay, Ed, first of all, I'm not in the Foreign Office, I'm in the Home Office. Secondly,
that's fair enough.
You can speak for yourself, but not for me. Third, if you read the articles, it actually talks about...
That second one was a barb.
Or have you been captured by
Hang on a
Treasury
minute.
orthodoxy?
If you let me explain, it talks about defence and intelligence in.
That's not what Ed Balls talking about, though. He's talking about the tweet that you put up. I know, I'm not on Twitter. I refuse. I'm on Facebook and I'm on here. That's it. I'm trying boo. But this, he's trying to say, but if you read the entire article, but he's not reading from the article. This is your tweet from the leadership election last year.
Those articles, I was combining quite.
Well, your
I think
first paragraph said defence spending to 2.5%, and you.
So he's. I love this. Ed's got the tweet and the article. That's really quite clever. That's really quite clever. I like that. That's hilarious.
You said that is not enough. Anyone who says otherwise is either naive or has been captured by Treasury orthodoxy. So are you naive or...
He didn't include... Like, it's all well and good him saying, oh, but if you read later on in the article... But the thing is... The way he's worded this has pushed him into a corner. He pushed himself into this corner. Now he's tying himself in knots.
Have you been captured by Treasury orthodoxy?
If you watch the video, I'll try and put a link up to this when I put the video up. If you watch this, right, watch his face. It's almost the entire time he's dead above the eyes, like he is so pissed off that he's been caught here. And below the eyes is almost a fixed smile. It is sickening to watch.
I'm delighted for you to interview yourself if you like, or you can listen to my answers.
I'm asking you the question. You can answer it.
It's up to you. Look, what we need to do is we need to have. Do you mind if I answer, or do you want to keep interviewing yourself? What we need to do is we need to make sure that we have a defence and intelligence environment that addresses the needs that we face today. And the reality is that's not just about submarines. It's not just about...
Waffle. Now, I get accused of waffling, and this is true. But this is true waffle. It's complete bullshit because he can't afford to answer the actual question that Ed Balls is putting to him.
Tanks. It's not just about the helicopters that you promised we'd have in Afghanistan when your man was Prime Minister, when your man was Chancellor, and we didn't have when I was on the ground there. It's about the capability to project force around the world that this deal, the AUKUS deal, actually delivers. It's about the intelligence capabilities.
But you were saying we needed more manpower.
The MI5, MI6, GCHQ are actually delivering. It's about the new National Protective Security Authority.
So do you still stand by what you said in The Sun last July, when you said 3% is the minimum we need, and anybody who defends 2.5% is naive or has been captured by Treasury orthodoxy? Do you...
That he's pulled directly from the tweet, right? It's just nothing about the article. It's just a tweet.
Stand by what you said, or have you now resiled from that? It's an easy question.
Ed, I spoke about 3% being defence and intelligence.
You didn't use the word intelligence. And once again, he's going to try and reference the article.
That's what I'm talking about.
No, the first paragraph said defence.
Well, you should read the whole article, Ed.
I've just read it to you.
You haven't read the whole article.
I'll boost defence spending on day one.
I'll boost defending.
I know this is going to surprise you, but if you get beyond the first paragraph, you might find there's a bit more detail in there.
Well, the second paragraph said it's not enough 2.5.
It does actually talk about intelligence.
I'm just asking you a question.
Ed, it talks about intelligence as well. And the reason that matters is because the reality is that the modern armed forces doesn't work as a solo operation.
I don't know how to respond to that. It's such a stupid response. On the modern military, it's like... There was it wasn't as seamless as it is today, and it could be better. It wasn't as closely connected as it is today, but it could be better. But, you know, there was coordination between the secret services in World War II and the military. Like, he's a soldier, and he is coming out with such fucking bullshit. It's not that I don't want to have, I'm not. It's not that I'm not patriotic. I'm just not patriotic to the king or the queen. I'm patriotic to this land, and you went into Afghan or Iraq or either. But making that stupid comparison, why? Or the modern. I've heard this before from the Tories as well. Oh, but the modern military is more interconnected, and it's like, it's when you look at the military history, and you don't even have to be an expert. You can see just, and if you look at it without a biased view as well, because I didn't start off from a left-wing view looking at history. I grew up looking at history. I came to politics only about 5-6 years ago. It did not inform my views on history. My views on history were formed way before that, because this is all I grew up with. So, it's the same thing with the religion. Yeah? Religion and politics have been a fairly recent... Religion a little bit longer than politics, but they're not like science or history. So, I won't have that one fucking put on me. He doesn't... As a soldier, he ought to know British military history better than he's putting across. It's just ridiculous.
It works as a multiple and integrated operation, working in 1,000 different ways with 1,000 different partners. The cooperation between our armed forces and our intelligence services, whether that's GCHQ and technical capabilities, or whether that's the Secret Intelligence Service or the Security Service, in different ways of understanding how our enemy are challenging us, that is hugely important. And so that's why this isn't about just a number, a line item on an accounting sheet from your days in defence, but about the whole pattern of the way that the government responds.
Again, just want to point out, I'm getting a lot of notifications. I'd just like to point out here that inflation is pushing, the price of things right up, and the Tories have been cutting for 13 years. You're complaining about what Labour have been doing. You've been cutting for 13 fucking years. What do you expect?
It's about making sure that our education and our educational approach is about defending those citizens who've come here to study. It's about making sure that all those areas of our industrial life are protected. That's why the National Protective Security Authority
Mr. Tugendhat,
is so important.
It's really important in politics that people are held to account for what they say.
Nice one there, Ed Balls, for cutting his waffle short and going, no, I want my... You don't see this often. And I suppose it is because he's a former Labour MP. But Ed Balls he's like, no, shut the fuck up. I want my question, the question I asked, I want that answered. Brilliant.
And you keep talking about what happened 15 years ago. Last July, you said 2.5% on defence spending in the sun is not enough, and anybody who defends it is naive or captured by Treasury orthodoxy, and now you are defending 2.5%. Don't you either have to say you were wrong last July or say that you've come into line with government policy on a position on defence spending which you went out of your way last summer to dismiss and say wasn't enough?
This is exactly what I was talking about, where Tom digs himself a fucking hole. What an idiot. I mean, he was right last summer. But as I said right at the beginning, he dug himself a hole by then actually going with it. it's all about trying to create this supposed view of the Tory party as being stable under Rishi Sunak. Everyone's walking. All I get the feeling of is everyone's walking on eggshells, trying not to do anything wrong, and they're still getting it wrong.
I mean, just be honest with people.
And the challenge is, you see, if you don't read the whole article, it's very difficult for you to understand the argument. The whole article talks about 3% on defence and intelligence. That was the argument I was
Your
making.
tweet, Mr. Tugendhat, last July, on the 13th of July, says...
Right, okay. I'm not on Twitter, but I've seen plenty enough tweets to know they are self-contained. You can put a whole article if you want or some shit, but it's just no point. He's taken a portion and is putting that up as a slogan. And if you look at his face here, he's doing the but instead of the eyes, he's like, he's doing I'm doing the math right, but it's just like, stop pointing out where I fucked up, you dickhead. Shut up, stop doing this. Fucking stop it.
The truth is, we don't spend enough on the defence of our country. As PM, I would commit 3% of GDP to defence spending. A tweet, is that tweet still on your Twitter account? Is it still there?
God knows.
You don't know?
Which one?
Well, I can tell you it's not there, but that's what you said. 3% of GDP to defence spending, which you have just now distanced yourself from.
No. Again, if you watch, Susanna actually kind of goes... that bit about the tweet not being there anymore, that got her attention.
Said 2.5% is enough.
Oh, why?
No, I haven't. What I've said is 2.5% is the minimum that this government has committed. I've also said, I'm really sorry, but if you don't listen to the argument, it's really difficult to have this discussion.
No, but
Hang on. I just want to... Yeah, there.
Is the minimum that this government has committed. I've also said, I'm really sorry, but if you don't listen to the argument, it's really difficult to have this discussion.
no, but Mr. Tugendhat, with respect, I'm just listening to the tweet, and the tweet is very clear. But I'm also very interested to know whether you have deleted that tweet. Ed says you have. Did you delete that tweet?
I'm afraid I have no idea how the Twitter system works. I don't.
I gather it's not like... Calm down. I gather it's not like... again, I'm not on any of the others. It's like Facebook. Unless you delete it, or Facebook removes it, and they notify you they've done it. You know, it's there. Pretty sure that's how it works.
Know whether it's there or not.
So
Let me know if I'm wrong.
you aren't tweeting when those tweets go out?
I tweet them out, but I have no idea what happens to them once they go out.
Well, they either stay up or you delete them. Did you delete that tweet?
There you go.
I didn't personally delete any tweets.
So who has access to your Twitter account then, buddy?
Why would that have been deleted? Was it because it was wrong or for some other reason?
I'm afraid I have absolutely no idea. I don't delete those tweets.
That's really interesting because you're Security Minister, the Home Office. I'm just interested to know what, social media is...
Gods. I mean, it's not quite as bad as it could be, depending... It reminds me of that bullshit, the reason why Suella Braverman got fired in the fucking first place.
Is a risky place, as we know. Someone's deleted that tweet for a reason.
Dun, 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 dun.
Look, I'm very lucky to have many people who support my, who help work in the office, and I'll ask, because there are various different programs I know that allow you to clean up these things on different timescales, and maybe there's a setting on that. I don't know. I'll have to check.
Do you think they cleaned it up because you no longer believe it?
I've just explained to you that I do. I've literally just explained to you. Okay. Actually, I believe that we need to be heading towards 3% for defence and intelligence. I've literally just explained to you that these things matter.
I'm really sorry. That is not what the tweet said. That is not what the Sun article said. It said 3% of GDP for defence spending. That's what you said in both the tweet and in the article. You're now resiling from that, understandably, because that is not what Rishi Sunak has done.
And
He's
someone
delivered
is
Again, Tom's face, he's like, stop pointing out the bullshit, you fucking twat. No, stop. Please stop. I'm on TV, I've got to smile, but fucking stop it, you cunt. It's hilarious.
and someone has deleted that thought from your social media.
Half what the Defence Secretary said.
It's very difficult. It's very difficult to have an argument when you won't listen to what I tell you.
They did, but what you said was bullshit. I mean, whether it's true or not, the context doesn't matter. In terms of the context, it's bullshit. They asked you a specific question and you gave them waffle. They called you out on your waffle and said, no, we were talking about this specific thing, and you're going, but I wanted to... It's not... Oh,
look, I mean, I think you'll find when people look at the transcript of
this guy was my pick for leader of the Tory party. Fuck.
We listened to you all too carefully. We took seriously what you wrote in The Sun, what you tweeted. You brought alive the Leadership election last July, and unfortunately, you've now resiled from it. You've got your feet behind the desk in the office, and you're no longer standing up for what you used to believe in.
Ed, first of all, that's simply not true. I keep saying to you, you'll never find me arguing against defence spending. I've argued in favour of it for many years. The second thing I've always argued is that we need to treat defence...
That's not what... he wasn't speaking out against that at all.
Spending is what it should be, which is an integrated package.
Again, not what we were talking about, not what Ed was talking about at all.
And the third thing I keep saying is that looking at 3% is absolutely the right thing to do, and that's exactly what this government is doing.
Okay.
But it says 2.5%.
So I think the combination of the three is actually pretty consistent. I'm sorry you don't see it. I really do. I wish you would, but,
Okay.
but I can't force it on you.
I hesitate to give people advice on Twitter, but if I were you, I'd go and check your tweets.
Well, look, I'll look out for Red Bull's Day, and I'll look out how the settings work.
I mean, that is the end of it. It's so cringe, isn't it? That is so cringe. Wow. Wow. This is just... I'm sorry, again, I had to put this up. I couldn't help myself. What an idiot. But yeah, this has been One Angry Pagan. I couldn't help myself. I hope you enjoyed listening to this. It was just, yeah. Once again, once I've got some software where I can actually put all this stuff up, you'll be starting to see some stuff. But like, as much as I tried to get everything out, and it's just hilarious listening to him tie himself in knots because he put himself into a corner. What a moron. Tell me what you think. I thought this was hilarious. And I cannot believe this guy was my pick for Tory leader last year. My God. Oh, God. God weird so. And I hope everyone has a good day. Bless the Thursday, everyone.